At least he looks right.
Yep. We are live. Did you want to start it off, man?
Let's kick off episode 125 of Breaker Debates. Your host, Narik Chase. Me, your co-host, Ken. And today's topic, best and worst of Tom Cruise movies. Starting today. Tom Cruise has been in a movie just a long time.
I want to give a shout out to one of our viewers who wanted to see this video.
Oh.
So I said I'll go ahead and do the video for him.
Wow.
So consider yourself shouted out.
You didn't even say who it was.
I'll pull up his name. Very nice guy. Very nice guy. I'm just terrible with names.
I'm
go ahead. I'll get his name. I talk to him all the time. Kenny Tar. That's his name. Kenny Tar.
Hey, got something in common.
There you go. All right. Kenny Tar, shout you out. This video is for you.
I hope you like it and comment too in the like, share, and subscribe department.
Yeah, Madam B's at work, so she gets off in about 30 minutes. So maybe she'll join us for the next video.
Cool beans.
All right. Without further ado, let's get into Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise movie list.
Wow. What do you want to do? The worst or the best?
Just throw them out there. Whatever you've seen them in, we'll just talk about them.
I'm gonna roll across the screen then. Actually, let me tell you what. One movie that I did like, which was unusual because I never would watch this movie otherwise, was a movie called Jack Reacher.
Ain't that the one he was like not a secret agent, but he was
He used to be a cop in the army, got out, vanished off the face of the earth, was enjoying his life and quietness, and then it kind of starts off where a shooting at the beginning of the movie.
Wasn't it like a sniper or something?
Exactly. And the sniper, they put his name out there, and then all of a sudden he like shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I really like that movie. It's not your normal. I don't say not your normal, but
it wasn't like the fast-paced, action-packed. Tom Cruise was more like a thriller.
Yeah, but it had some great humor elements in it, and then it just was a very different feel for Tom Cruise. Because my next movie I would talk about is also another one that I didn't really expect to like, but I actually really liked it. But I really enjoyed Jack Reacher, and actually there was a second one. I haven't got to see it yet. I just actually found out there was another Jack Reacher movie.
I didn't get to see the second one either.
I didn't even know there was a second one. I thought it was one of them one shot, whatever.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, there's actually a second Jack Reacher I got to go hunt down and watch.
I remember Jack Reacher now.
It was just very different. It was not, he didn't have to run. It had decent, cast. The plot was a little weak, but
who in the world has their own like signature run?
I think it's in his contract that he has to run in every movie.
Yes, and it's that same distinct run.
Yeah, there's no missing it. I think I looked this up one time we were talking about it at work. I was like, does Tom Cruise run in every movie? And there's like actually 4 movies that he has that he does not run in, which was just ruined my day. I was like, he's got to run in every movie. But, Jack Reacher is a good one. How about one of your favorites?
I want to piggyback off of that. Jack Reacher I really liked. I think one of the best parts of the movie was the car chase.
Mm-hmm.
He puts the car in neutral and just easily just steps out of the car and he keeps going.
Yep.
And he disappears into the crowd. And they kind of they kind of cover him up. That was awesome.
I like the when he has the fight scene in a bar. He goes, "We know this is not going to go well. I mean, you guys can back off now." And he says, "How many of you guys? 5. Okay, well, one of you's my main guy. 2 of you are going to step up to fight him, and the other 2 are going to run." And he goes, "You ready to get this started?" I mean, he just starts in on him. He goes, "Well, we know who's who." And the guys start running off. That was awesome.
Yeah. Didn't he? He didn't get arrested because I think he knew the policeman. Or was that the?
Oh no, he got arrested. They took him to jail, but the detective who was on the case that he was working, and his lawyer friend that he's working kind of sort of with, ends up getting him out of jail, and that's when he says, He goes, "What's the serial number of the gun?" He tells him the serial number of the gun after he asked him earlier, and he said, "What's the serial number? What's the date on the quarter?" So weird stuff like that.
Yeah,
but pretty cool though. Definitely worthwhile. Worthwhile.
As far as my favorites, I'm going to I guess I'm gonna go back because I want to knock out some of the ones that he did recently, but I'm gonna go back. Cocktail with Michael Caine.
Okay. I've actually, believe it or not, never seen it, but I've heard much about it.
I actually liked it. It was it's nice to see him in like more of a real life, more relatable setting. And in the movie, he played this cocktail, the guys that make the cocktails and all that stuff. And he ends up, and I guess his mentor was Michael Caine. And he ends up meeting this girl. I can't remember her name for the life of me. Let me look it up right quick. But he ends up following. It was like a good love story. And that's one thing I liked about it. And it's nice to see him play roles like that.
Yeah, you can't get stereotyped into specific roles. I mean, like you get into the Mission Impossible series, you get into really that's the one that kind of sticks with him the most right now.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, one of his more well-known ones. I mean, we had Risky Business was a more well-known one. What was the other one that he was really into? Scroll across here.
The woman name is Elizabeth Shue.
Oh, Elizabeth Shue.
She played in Hollow Man, Back to the Future, Adventures in Babysitting, The Karate Kid, which I do remember her in them films. And she's been in House at the End of the Street. She's been in some a lot of stuff lately.
Yeah,
she was in the new Death Wish movie.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know she was acting anymore. I thought she kind of retired.
Oh, she was in Hollow Man. Okay.
Yeah, she was the scientist, his lead scientist.
Yeah.
With Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, I like the movie because again, Tom Cruise. It was a comedy. It was a romantic comedy, so it was something different.
Mm-hmm.
So I say it was a good one. That's a good one on him. What do you got on your list?
Was it The Edge of Tomorrow?
I wanted to wait, but yeah, Edge of Tomorrow was beast.
I love that movie. I didn't really expect it to be as entertaining and as good. It does have its serious note, but the favorite part of that whole movie is when he's learning the training.
Yes.
And he keeps getting hurt. And she walks into him and he goes, No, wait, I can walk. His leg's like halfway missing. I can walk. Boom! She shoots him. That was the absolute best part of that whole freaking movie. Humor-wise, that was just so awesome.
And it deviated from his normal...
exactly.
Yes, because Tom Cruise has a knack for playing movies where he's like... either he's like this total badass from the jump, or he plays this guy that has a lot of potential, and by the end of the movie he becomes badass. But in this movie they take that formula, they do switch it around, because in this movie he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't know how to fight.
Yeah, he's a smart ass. He just wants to show up, PR guy.
Yeah.
Disrespect the general, and the general says pretty much, you know what, screw you, you're going.
That part was hilarious too. He was like, you're gonna be on the battlefield. He was like, what?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, your ass showed up as a sergeant, D-ranked and everything. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was one of my favorite. And there actually a rumor is making an Edge of Tomorrow 2.
I'm interested to see that. When I read the manga that it's based off of, and there's a whole bunch of differences. I'll tell you that. And the show didn't end the way the movie did. But the movie, I felt, had a better note, left on a better note.
Yeah, it was a great, interesting setup. It was something different. And how it worked was different. Granted, we have had our time travel movies and people go back and, try to fix everything. But, it was interesting to see how it occurred and then how they were trying to resolve it. Mm-hmm. And, all these different possibilities, all these different things. It's almost like Groundhog Day, but much more painful in this case. And having to repeat the exact same moments over and over and over again. So, but it was definitely entertaining. Definitely, it had its scary, kind of, woo, man, what the heck?
Yes.
And then it had its humor. It had, I mean, it was a great blend of movie,
It was a great blend.
and I am definitely excited to see the potential of a second one. So,
The sequel to that Jack Reacher movie is called Never Go Back.
uh,
I just ran across it. But yeah, I haven't seen
I,
it.
well, no,
um, a movie that I seen that I thought I actually liked, and I felt like it was kind of like Tom Cruise's version of The Patriot. I
oh,
don't know why. Was the movie? What's this? It's a samurai movie.
The Last Samurai.
The Last Samurai. Yeah.
That was a good movie. Very yes.
Yes. It's
That
in
was
the movie. Tom Cruise is a part of the American division that was kicking the ass of this Asian group, and he ends up getting, I don't want to say caught, but I think he got wounded
yeah.
and was in the village with him, and then Stockholm
He was
syndrome.
he wasn't even a soldier. He was actually an advisor in that
Yeah,
movie.
the Last
He's kind
Samurai.
of like a weapons guy or whatever. You know, he's like the sales guy on the field.
Yeah, and the story is about redemption because in the movie he learns their ways. He starts to become accepted by them, and even goes towards fighting with them, which it kind of goes to the last arc of the movie, which was
Yep.
really good and really emotional because I like the characters, and some good characters die.
Yeah, it was kind of sad at the end there.
Yeah, and that's another one of those movies where it's about his acting chops. It's not about him being an action star.
Yeah, this
And,
one
and I
wasn't
really
all
like
about action. This was more about the person,
the
more of
drama
the
and about
depth of the
war.
character than it was anything else.
It's great. That was actually a really good one. What about you? What's your next one?
Here's one that was kind of out of the box, also, much like Jack Reacher was, but it's it's a movie called Night and Day.
He's a secret agent with Cameron Diaz, right?
Yes.
I didn't see it.
Oh man, it's another one of those. It's another one of those not what you expect movies. I mean, yeah, it does have the action and all that stuff, but uh, it's a great movie. You know, Jack Reacher was a little more on the serious side. You know, a little bit out of the norm. This one's more on the humorous side, where you actually see, you know, Tom having a good. It's kind of like a combination of his Mission Impossible characters, kind of mixed in with I guess you could say a little bit of Jack Reacher in the mysterious department,
Yeah,
but it's all kind of a coincidental moment of what happens in the movie, and
you have to
there's
forgive
great chemistry.
the whirring of the helicopters. For some dumb reason, they decided they wanted to fly over my house all today for no reason.
They're really scoping you on this podcast because you're talking
Oh,
about Tom Cruise.
I hope not.
Hey, Gal Gadot's in there. I didn't know that. Huh, that's crazy. But it's just a really good movie. It's not, like I say, it's not your normal Tom Cruise movie. I mean, it kind of pokes fun at the character of, you know, like the Mission Impossible slash, you know, the Reacher kind of characters, the more spy type, but it's in a very funny way of doing it.
Yeah,
And it is definitely worthwhile to rent. I would definitely rent it if I had to. It is just it was just so different because you don't expect it. You always see him in very serious roles, or not as serious, but you know the standard, you know, very not humorous. You know, there's just not a lot of humor. It's very subtle in most of the Tom Cruise movies. This one is just fall out. He's just having a really good time with it,
and yeah,
and it reflects. He's got great chemistry with Cameron Diaz in here. Uh, Very good movie, and it's just quite enjoyable. And definitely, again, you know, check it out, rent it, buy it, lease it, whatever you got to do. It is definitely one that you will watch, and you'll watch it over and over. I mean, it's not like I watch it every year, but I've seen it about 2 or 3 times, and it's pretty damn funny.
okay, that's something I'm gonna put on my list. Then
Add it to it.
I I have Now I have to bring up a bad movie, and I really wanted the movie to be just epic. And we've talked about the movie on this channel before.
The Mummy.
The Mummy.
I knew where you're going with that one.
And the problem with the Mummy was he was in it.
Yeah, I hadn't even seen it, and after our talk about it, I pretty much said I'm not going to watch it.
He's in it, and his run is in it. But the best part of him being in the movie is you see him get his ass handed to him a couple of times.
I do remember seeing some of the coolest scene, though. I do think is the one you saw in the commercial, but you don't get to see the whole thing, where they're in the airplane bringing the sarcophagus back.
Yeah.
And I watched one of the little YouTube clips that they put out for the movie, kind of as a precursor, talking about, how he's kind of inputted into the movie. He was a director or something. I mean, he had some major role in the direction of the movie also. And he was talking about, because I want to do something I hadn't really seen. I've been thinking about it for a long time. And that scene where basically the birds hit the plane spirals out of control, and there's a lot of zero G because the plane's spinning at the right thing. Yeah. And they actually went out and did that. I mean, granted, there's some CGI involved, don't get me wrong. But they actually went out and rode the Vomit Comet, built the set inside there to make it look like the plane they were in with the sarcophagus. Yeah. And they went out there and they filmed that live. And I thought that was pretty damn cool. It wasn't visually altered. They actually went and basically zero G'd around in that plane. I thought that was very cool and creative.
I like that part, but I'm going to say this. That part, there go again. Gosh.
Watching you.
Watching you. Bow. But I think, like, if he would have died during that plane crash, I would have been okay with it. I mean, he did die. If he just stayed dead. Yeah, if he would have just stayed dead and then switched over to the female character, I would have been okay. But he did totally eclipse that movie. So, Tom Cruise, if you got a movie like this coming out again, sit your rum down. Stay dead.
Stay dead. Don't come any further.
But that's one of the worst. It's probably the worst one I've seen.
Yeah, I wouldn't even watch it, so it's really bad. And I kind of like the idea of the universe, the dark universe that they were going with, but I think it's completely collapsed now. I think that whole thing we talked about many episodes ago is just pretty much just done. I think they lost faith in because of the results of the Mummy itself.
I want them to keep going, but the thing about it is these actors like Tom Cruise, A-listers, they don't need them in the movies. No, you don't need to have $100,000 movie and $100 million movie and $50 million of that dollars go to the actor. No, because the whole movie is going to be about that actor. What you need to do, get you some people that are B-list or whatever, and get a good story going.
Yeah, bring some people we've never heard about. Throw them in there.
And like I said, Tom Cruise would have been good in the movie. I would say Tom Cruise's role would have been better in the movie had he played Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll.
That would have been interesting.
He'd been in the movie, but the movie wouldn't have been about him.
Yeah,
yeah, he totally messed that one up. But so what other one do you have on your mind, sir?
How about War of the Worlds?
That's probably one of my favorite. That's like one of my top 10 favorite alien invasion movies.
The remake War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't get to see it in the theater. I probably would have freaked out a little bit in the theater because just the soundtracking into it, the effects and stuff, is what really caught my attention. I didn't want to see the movie because I do like War of the Worlds. I like H.G. Wells. I like I like the original War of the Worlds, even though it was chintzy and cheesy, but it was cool.
Yes.
And then there was a War of the Worlds TV series that was really getting somewhere cool, and they kind of cut it off. So I had mixed feelings about seeing War of the Worlds remade again. But I gotta say, after watching it and the way it went, the tripods, which is scary as hell. And that's like not scary. It's when they made that noise, that brrr, and you were in a really good surround system or something.
Yes.
That is just creepy, man. That just makes you go, "What the heck?" And you hear that jigoo, jigoo. And there's a scene in there. I mean, obviously we see them in there, you know, blasting everybody. But the one that really catches my memory is when everybody's getting on the ferry about halfway in the movie, and they're trying to cross over. And if you look when they back up, you actually see one of the tripods walking under the water towards the boat.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, "What?" And you start hearing, you know, the one in the background. You start hearing the horns, and then that thing comes up and just flips that whole boat. I was like, "Whoa, what the heck?"
I honestly didn't realize how like similar, how closely adapted that was until I reread The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
The vines was the important part that really made it different. And most people didn't even know what the vines were.
Yeah, and it's so close to the source material. Not saying it's 100%, but they did this. And the thing about it is, Tom Cruise performance, it's good to, again, it was more of like an emotional thing because it wasn't him kicking these aliens' ass.
No, he was running for his life, trying to protect his kids.
Trying to protect his family. He was trying to protect his kids. And that's what made that, again, every time it seems like Tom Cruise picks a role where he's not just action-oriented, it seems like people find, he seems like he'll be in more of your favor because he's doing something different.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he does that because it's like, he makes, if you think about it, okay, if you play 5 action movies, then you play a dramatic one, then you do 5 action ones, then you do a dramatic, it makes it seem like your dramatic acting is good or better.
You know what I'm saying? See it so much, and then when you do, you're like, oh, wow. Yeah. I didn't know I could do that.
But it was, I gotta give it, I did like that one. I really did. I'm gonna tell you another thriller that he played in, and he is one of my like ultimate like bad guys after watching this movie. Collateral.
Have I seen Collateral?
That's the one with Jamie Foxx was this cab driver.
I remember seeing the commercial for it, and I wanted to see it, but I did not.
That's one of those movies like he has the badass skill, and he acts like Tom Cruise, but he's serious, but it fits that character. It's not like you know how some people can play a role so much you see them as that every time they're in a role.
Yep.
Well, this one, that's his character. His character is Tom Cruise, so his character is really serious. He can be. And one thing I like about this character, the way he played the character, was he was kind of like philosophical too. So the whole time he's like forcing Jamie Foxx to drive him around while he's killing people.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of boosting up Jamie Foxx's like confidence and personality.
Come on, come on.
And I like that dynamic because like what was one thing he had? Because the whole movie he's just wiping people out. If you want to see Tom Cruise just be a stone cold killer, this the movie. Like this one part he was talking to Jamie Foxx and he's like, Jamie Foxx like told him at one point in the movie that he wanted to make his own limo service. Mm-hmm. And you can tell Jamie Foxx's character is like nervous and shy. You can tell he's like a dreamer, but he hasn't like actually stood out there and done his dreams.
He ain't got the motivation or the...
Yeah. And then you have Tom Cruise character come up and tell him, he got pissed at him at one point. He was like, you ain't nothing but a dreamer. You could have easily did this, and this, and started your own business, but you didn't. And I was like, and I like the dynamic between the two. This is one of those movies where Tom Cruise being like doing all that actiony stuff is where it's well warranted. And I got to give him to him. And he was one of my favorite characters of that year. In fact, that was one of my favorite movies of that year.
That would be cool. Yeah.
I'll
have to watch that one. I have to add that to my list of movies I haven't seen yet.
Definitely watch it. And outside of that, it's got a lot of...
I remember the commercials for it now that I looked at the couple of images from it. I was like, I remember that. But again, it was, I don't jump out for every Tom Cruise movie that comes out. I don't. But you know, and in the movies I have actually sat and watched. I mean, we got the Mission Impossible series, and you know, everybody's kind of stuck on him. Interview with the Vampire, they get stuck on him. Um, you know, but you know, there's a lot of movies that really started his career before he jumped in those franchises. You know, and a few oddballs that you remember him, but you kind of once you see it, you're like, well, I'm tired of seeing the same character, and that's why these other movies with us stand out is because he's not playing those roles. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Collateral, he's a stone cold killer. He don't care. You know, we don't ever see Tom. He's always loving and kind and caring.
Or he's
Or
the badass good guy.
yeah, you know, Jack Reacher and and
Ethan,
you know, Ethan. Yeah, exactly. All these different characters, and then you see something different, and you're like, whoa, what? Very cool. Excellent choice. Excellent choice.
did you ever watch Minority Report?
Yes, I did. I was about to bring that one up, as a matter of fact. My mouse is literally sitting right over it.
Like I'm looking at it and I'm like, I watched it, but I don't remember much of it. Like I remember he was trying he was working for this agency that used psychic people to see who was going to do a crime or something like that.
Preventative crime. I can't remember actually what they called them, but yeah, basically pre-crime.
Yeah,
And
they would get the person before they could do the crime.
Exactly, and then they would take them out before something bad would happen.
Yeah, and then it came up that he was going to do a crime, right?
It was
a setup.
Yeah, he was being set up about it for some other for another purpose. I was trying to remember exactly how it went down because it has been a little while since I've seen Minority Report.
I remember it was the guy said it. I remember the guy told him. He was like, well, if you kill me or something like that, if you kill me, my family will be set for life or something like that. And then I think he shot himself or he jumped out the window or something like that.
Well, he punched out. It was basically he's just kind of being brought in because I think it was the trying to read it real quick and just rehash my brain, but one of the crimes that came out was basically not a crime. It was a pre-setup to
it looked like a crime was going to happen.
Yeah, it was basically doctored by the folks who were the precogs.
Mm-hmm.
But it was regarding something that happened to them. The crime was against them, basically. And that's how he got involved in it. And investigating the crime, he gets deeper and deeper and deeper into a very bad situation that happened because all the little, I think there were 3 of them, if I remember right.
Yeah, 3 bald chicks.
Yeah, there were 3. They were all sisters, and something bad had happened to them, and this kind of tied everything in to how they ended up becoming what they were.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of basically what happened. I mean, there was a crime committed to basically get them because by the law they were special and gifted, but somebody wanted to use them, and they couldn't. That wouldn't happen. So something bad happened to their parents, and they became citizens of the state. And when they did that, they got put in. And turns out, basically, in a long story short, that something bad happened to them in order to make them there, and it was the guy who was in charge of the program.
Oh.
In essence, he killed their mom. Basically, is what it boiled down to. And then they just wanted to be free. They didn't want it because if they're around or anything like that, they pick up on everything, and they just wanted to be free. They wanted to live their normal lives, but they can't be around anybody. So basically, they set it up to where a series of events that they foresaw to make things happen, so that he basically uncovered the crime and then got them free.
Oh, okay. That's
kind of arranged it.
It was kind of like it was a thriller.
Yeah, there was a murder mystery basically involved in it.
Okay.
And it just you first get introduced to what their ability is. You see a crime happen and they stop it, and then they kind of build upon that as they, you see a couple more crimes. I think the tech was really cool. That's what caught my eyes. Is we're talking 2054 ish, but the precog information that they were getting and seeing and able to manipulate and see what was going on, I thought was really cool. You know, that's what kind of started me into the show because I love tech. So,
Yeah.
but then as you start diving into the story and you paying attention, you're like, oh, 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 as you go through the movie. So it turns out it wasn't so bad. It's not one of my major favorites, but it is a good movie enough for me to watch more than once.
Yes.
And the Russian guy, the crazy Russian guy, was pretty funny in there too. He was the body part seller guy that he ended up going back and working with to get new eyes, so he couldn't be picked up anywhere because everybody, the advertisements of the future, basically look at your retinal scans and then give you imaging based on you.
Yeah.
So it was very cool, though. It was a great murder mystery as the show evolved.
I got to say this one, and I'm going to bring up the Mission Impossible. But I'm going to try not to make it a Mission Impossible series thing. So I'm just going to go by the films.
I was trying to avoid Mission Impossible. I mean, it's going to come up because we're talking Tom Cruise.
Yeah. My favorite one, in my opinion, is I don't want to. It's between 3 and Ghost Protocol, and I like Rogue Nation, but it's between 3 and Ghost Protocol. And I like 3 because even though he's the badass character, he gets put in this position where he has to try to worm his way out of it. He has to figure his way out of it. And that's when the bad guy, it's like, that's when the bad guy has kind of put him in this position. I'm trying to think.
That has Philip Seymour Hoffman in it. Okay.
Yes. That's the one where he thought he knew what was going on, but it wasn't what he thought it was.
Yeah.
And it kind of turned on him. Like the bridge scene with the fighter jets. Or was it 1 or 2?
It was
like
2.
Yeah. Because they you know, it looked like Seymour Hoffman's character was over everything that was going on, but it wasn't. It was deeper than that.
Yep.
But I like that because it got to a point where he couldn't just be badass. Like, especially the ending part where he almost died and his wife had to bring him back.
Yeah.
Like that, where he was, yeah. That's what I liked about it. And plus it was the intro when they went into that building to save that one girl. That was badass.
I like all of the intros. I mean, I always liked the old Mission Impossible back, the Peter Graves Mission Impossible TV series, and then they did a rehash of that in the late '90s, I think.
Yeah,
and it was really cool then because they still had Peter Graves in it. Now, of course, Peter Graves passed away many years ago, and then they brought in Tom Cruise.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, the concept's the same, but I don't know. I think I really did like Ghost Protocol as one of my more favorite ones of the series. I mean, everyone has a little bit of something, but I remember that one was pretty damn cool because there was a lot of stuff that went on with that movie, and it was just the one scene where they're in the Kremlin.
Yes.
The projector system. As they're walking down the hallway trying to get to the film rolls or whatever it was to find out who the bad agent was, Cobalt, I think it was.
Yeah.
And, you know, you see Simon Pegg, you know, he pops in there and you see his face and he disappears. And no matter where the Russian guy looking at matched it. You know, again, the tech is what catches me. You know, it was always cool in the old TV series is because they had to be creative. They had to be spur of the moment. They had to be, you know, a little bit of everything, and they still bring that to the table, but more modernized now into the newer Mission Impossible series with Tom Cruise in it. But yeah, definitely that one was probably one of my more favorite ones. And what was the other one after that one?
Rogue Nation, where they had to fight like a evil version of Mission Impossible.
Yes,
which I like that too. I like that one
because
too.
Everybody at that point is still undisclosed. They're hiding. They're running through safe houses and everything like that. What the hell was
that? You got the big booms too?
That was a big boom, like somebody just fell down the stairs or something.
Dang.
Loud. I don't hear anybody crying or whining, so I guess they're okay.
Dang.
Hey, what a wonderful dad you are. Maybe one of your kids just fell down the stairs, but I don't hear anybody crying, so oh well.
um, like when it comes to the Mission Impossible, do you think that was the like the first Mission Impossible? Do you think that's what put him on like the map?
No.
Because I know he
The
played in
ones that
Top
the
Gun.
ones that kicked Tom Cruise off, we'll run through a few. I'll tell you what really kicked Cruise off. Top Gun is one of his kickoff movies. Risky Business. Where's that other one? Cocktail's another one. And where's that other one? I just saw it. Jerry Maguire. Those are your core Tom Cruise movies that got you into the comedy, the action, the I guess the sex appeal of Tom Cruise, which was Risky Business, and Legend, which was the science fiction fantasy. All those.
I need to watch Legend. I cannot. I don't remember it. I remember I liked it when I was a kid, but I
Oh,
don't remember
Legend was
that.
awesome. Legend's one of my next favorite movies, but I was kind of saving that for a little bit later because we're getting close on time. But and Rain Man, I think Rain Man got him a couple of awards or something. Him and Dustin Hoffman. But those are those core movies that really started him off. You know, personal opinion only, but if you go back and look, I mean, look at the time frames of all the movies, and you look at the time frames of when he starts growing big character. You know, because you remember Born on Fourth of July, Days of Thunder, those all kicked off about 2 or 3 years after the other movies, and everything just kind of just kept on going and going from there. And then he jumped on that Mission Impossible bandwagon, and that took him places too. I mean, I'm not saying it's not one of the original cores, but being attached to that franchise has brought him a lot because you get a lot of diversity because you could do a lot of different things off of that Mission Impossible series,
Yeah.
and I think that has carried him on to a lot of the other movies that we see, like the Jack Reachers, um, the the Oblivion, you know, science fiction, Edge of Tomorrow movies. You know, we get that military background. We get the caricatures and like Last Samurai. We get the hardcoreness of like Collateral. We get that science fiction-y stuff coming in with War of the Worlds, a Minority Report. There's that weird movie, which I've seen pieces, parts of Vanilla Sky. I've never heard anything good about that movie, so I really never jumped on that bandwagon. But
I can check out Vanilla Sky, see if there's anything good about it.
like I said, a lot of people just couldn't, you know, it's just one of them weird movies. Um, I was trying to remember what the whole thing's about.
Of course, since Madam B and me talked about it a few videos ago, Interview with the Vampire.
Yep.
Loved it.
That was another one of those. Just after those first movies I talked about, that was the next one that really brought him in. You know, he got in that band. He got in that science fiction fantasy, playing Lestat, if I remember right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lestat. Brad Pitt. That's another stepping stone for Brad Pitt too. You know, everybody got all, ooh, it's Tom Cruise. Ooh, it's Brad Pitt. Oh my gosh.
I think, I mean, not only did they have a great relationship, but it was the way uh, Cruz gave the depth. I mean, he gave the character a bit of personality. Yeah, he gave the character personality. He could be charming. He could be deadly. He was goofy at times, but he could be serious.
Yeah, he had a character that was already several hundred years old to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So he's, you know, seen a lot of things already, you know, at that time frame. And then he brings on somebody because he's lonely. And he gets, you know, Brad Pitt brought him in there and starts trying to teach him his ways, but Brad just can't work to his ways, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The stat didn't care. He was so laissez-faire, you know. Okay, I killed 30 people today because I was hungry. Oh, well, I don't care. You know, but Brad couldn't do that. I mean, at first he kind of did, and then the humanity is what stuck with him. Lestat had given away his humanity. He didn't care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see that reflect in some of the other movies as well, because we've already seen like 2 other versions of Lestat. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I mean, it is a good movie. It's awesome. Filmography, everything is great. Um, And if you like any of the Anne Rice series, a lot of people latch onto that one as kind of the starter
Yep.
or one that they like. And I don't mind. Was it Queen of the Damned? I like that one.
Yeah, I like that one too.
It was a little bit different version of the characters that you do read about in the Anne Rice novels, but it's again that's one of, I would say, one of 5 movies, Tom Cruise core movies, that really built him into the stardom roles, getting the big names, getting the big draw. Um, I think his biggest bread and butter has been Mission Impossible, because we've already gotten up to 6 movies now. Well, there will be a 6th movie coming.
I think another one's supposed to be coming out.
Yep.
Fallout, yeah.
Yep. There's another one I think it's actually filming right now. But I'm glad he did a little diversification and at least stepped out of that and tried to do something different.
Did you see that movie Rock of Ages?
No, I have not. I think that's when he was playing a rock star for. Was he playing? God, who was a singer? I don't know if he was actually supposed to be playing somebody, or he was a made up somebody. Because there was a couple. There was 2 movies around at the same time.
Yeah,
that came out, and one was about the Doors, and his, I think, was just kind of a rock star character. He wasn't actually playing somebody. Got a lot of good music in it, though.
Yeah, because I really wanted to see that, but I didn't get a chance to actually see it. But I thought it was really unfortunate. I suck. I wanted to see Valkyrie too, because I heard he did a great job in that movie.
Valkyrie, I heard, was actually a cool movie. It's a more historical. The attempt on Hitler in his bunker is what that's about. If you're a history buff, some might have a little bit of argument, but it's actually very historically and very close to accurate from what I understand. Okay. There were a lot of attempts, but that one was definitely a more serious, no humor involved role. You just, that type of movie, there's just no room for comedy.
Wasn't he in a Stephen King movie too? The Firm or something like that?
No, I don't think he was. I don't think so.
Because I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I think that was it.
Yes, I'm sorry, I am mistaken. Yes, The Firm. I had actually just blown right past it just a second ago. Yes.
Wasn't it about aliens or something?
No. Let's see here. I think that one was. Un momento. Oh wow. There's several versions of The Firm. You may have actually gotten The Firm mixed up with one of them other ones. Let's see. Ed Harris, Holly Hunter, David Stratham, Ed Harris, Tom Cruise, Jenny Triplehorn, Gene Hackman. So I don't think this is an alien movie. I think this one was something about him being in business and partnerships, and something bad's going on, and he ends up finding out about it. And now he gets, he ends up, it's all about basically crime. It's a suspense crime movie.
Oh, okay. I don't know what I was thinking of.
It's kind of like, what's the other movie with, oh man, what is that movie? It's a stock market movie.
The one with Leonardo.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, Wolf of Wall Street, yeah.
Something very similar to that. Some people just when they're getting killed. It's basically, the top people are keeping their people close and keeping their other people closer, and some of them are going to kind of rat it out and they get knocked off, and he ends up being in that inner core group of people, and they're like watching him and making sure he's not bringing them down with him, or he's going to end up dying. So it's a suspense thriller type movie.
Oh, have you seen the movie Oblivion?
Yes, I have.
That is my movie.
That was very, very interesting, and I don't say completely original, but I liked how it went down. I liked the idea, the twist. Yeah, that twist is what got me.
That was a great story.
Didn't see that coming a mile away.
And it had like several twists too. It's like, okay, well, dang, I didn't know. Well, dang, I didn't realize that either.
it was smart thinking whoever came up with the movie, because
Yes, yes.
there was a lot of stuff you just wouldn't see coming. Well, yeah, there was a lot of twists in that movie too, especially the very, very, very end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I just didn't even expect it.
See, and again, this is one of those moments where Tom Cruise's action is used, is actually written well into the script. So he has a reason for doing the things that he can do. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it actually helped the movie.
Yeah, it was just there's a lot of stuff that happened in there as it went. I mean, his character was, he was just Joe Schmuck doing his job every day, doing whatever he did, and then but he still has those flashbacks of things. And he's just trying to figure out what's going on, and little things start happening, and the story evolves more and more, and then he gets thrown into a life or death situation, and then he ends up making more discoveries as he goes, as he does, and it starts compiling, and it gets really crazy, and you're like, whoa, what is going on? And then you get to Morgan Freeman's character in there,
Yes.
and then you get educated on kind of, you learn a little bit of something, not everything, but it's not until they go on to the what was that ship thing,
That whatever that thing was, it was in the sky.
yeah,
The mother.
the big mothership or whatever, and then you actually kind of really start understanding what had happened, and then you get the whole background, and you're like, whoa, what the heck? And it just blows your mind, because you just don't see it coming.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't see it coming.
And this movie is based off a comic. I don't know if the comic is named Oblivion, but it's based off a graphic novel.
Yes, I think it was based off a graphic novel. Actually, let's see here.
And my girl, Kiri Ogalenko. I keep Olga Kurilenko. That's her name. I keep mixing her name up. Olga Kurilenko, and that was the one that he kept dreaming about.
Yes.
Which is one of my favorite actors.
Oh, that was in there. Never mind. That's not who I thought it was.
Olga Kurilenko. Okay. Sorry about that.
You can read the phone book and make it sound good. God, I love the Lego movie.
But overall, Tom Cruise is a good actor, and he can be diverse. He really can. But he does play action really good.
I think he gets stuck in a lot of those, and again, we talked the Mission Impossible series is probably the most predominant one, or the Top Gun role, Goose and Maverick. You get that, and I see him. I think he was trying to get out of that rut, per se, when we see movies like The Mummy, Edge of Tomorrow, Day and Night, just something different, something to get out of that stereotype that, a lot of the actors before him, and still actually a lot after him, have been stuck in ruts, and they're stuck on this particular role style, and they can never escape it. And I think that, granted, it gets repetitive sometimes. We see the same type of movie from an actor, and that's all we will ever see them in. So I'm glad that at least has done some diversification in different various styles of movies. Not trying to play the same character, just in a different movie. So that's a lot. And there's a lot, we're going to see another Mission Impossible. We're going to see another Edge of Tomorrow. I believe they're supposed to be working on a second Top Gun, believe it or not.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that too.
So there's some stuff coming that's going to be a rehash of what we've seen. But I'd like to see Edge of Tomorrow for sure. I'd love to see where they go with that.
And if they do Edge of Tomorrow too, will it be still Tom Cruise? Will it be good to see Tom Cruise, or will it be better to see somebody else?
Actually, I would like to see where it goes with Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Because I think they're going to have the girl and him in it again. But I'm kind of curious, though, because they destroyed that Overmind. And as far as he knows, the reset button will no longer work. So I want to know how they're going to try to continue on that Minority Report. Wow, sorry, man, that was brain dead. Woo! I was looking right at the icon, and that's what threw me off. I would like to see how they will continue Edge of Tomorrow 2. Did we miss something? Was there something else? You know, as far as we know, the good guys won. Leaving it open. Leaving it open.
Well, it's about that time, everybody.
Yes,
Sorry that we
it's
did
actually
start
going a
late.
little over, which is good, but it was a good discussion.
So,
Ken, I hope you liked our discussion.
Yep. You keep going ahead and throwing us some more ideas, man, because I did write them down, and we will be getting to those too, man. Well, having said that, anyway, in the comment section below, guys, let us know what do you think about our discussion about the best and worst Tom Cruise movies. Let us know which ones are your favorite. And also, be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what is going on here on the Narik Chase channel, as well as stay tuned for Tuesdays and Thursdays for more videos. And without further ado, we'll catch you guys later. Stay tuned for this, either the second half or another video altogether.